as you not only failed, but you absconded or, almost immediately for about a year from probation and reporting when you're not. Cases are now called the State of Texas versus Tracy Daniel Barnes. Is that you, sir?
Yes, sir.
Present with your attorney, Ms. Manaldi, and the state's attorney. Does the defendant waive formal readings of these three cases? They are, looks like motions to revoke probation in clause numbers 23 CR 2067 and 23 CR 792, and finally a new indictment in cause number 24 CR 2247. Can we proceed in summary?
Yes, Judge, but that middle case is 24 DCCR 792, not.
It's 24 CR 792?
Yes. I just want to make sure you had said 23 because the first one was 23.
24.
Make sure
Okay.
that's correct. Clause numbers.
So, in 23 CR 2067, we'll take these up numerically. In this case, there's a motion to revoke probation filed. We can go by, it was filed, it looks like on February 6th of this year. Can we proceed in summary?
Yes, Judge.
Raise your right hand, sir. Do you solemnly swear or affirm any statement you make during these hearings will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Lower your hand. In summary, this states that on July 8th, 2024, in this criminal district court of Jefferson County, Texas, you were sentenced to 10 years in prison, and that was suspended, and you were placed on regular probation for 10 years for forgery of a financial instrument. It was a state jail felony, though punished as a third-degree felony. Is all of that true, sir?
Yes, sir.
Allegations
Number 2.
2 states you failed to report to the Jefferson County Probation Office on or about September 10th, October 8th, October 15th, all 2024 in violation of condition 4 of your probation order. Is that true? What else?
I believe we're just proceeding on allegation 2 in both of the MTRPs, Judge.
That's correct. Same allegation in both.
I'm going to hold that one in abeyance and go to cause number 24 CR 792. And again, does he waive a formal reading of this motion to revoke probation? In this case, can we proceed in summary?
Yes, Judge.
And again, you're still under oath, sir. This motion in summary states that on July 8th of 2024, in this court, you were sentenced to 10 years in prison, and that was suspended. You were probated for 10 years for a state jail felony, punished though of a third-degree felony,
Yes.
as though it was a third-degree felony because of prior convictions for fraudulent transfer of a motor vehicle less than $30,000. Do you understand what that alleges, sir? And is all of that true and correct?
Yes, sir.
And allegation 2 alleges you failed to report to the Jefferson County Probation Office as required on September 10th, October 8th, and October 15th of 2024 in violation of condition 4 of your probation order. Is that true or untrue?
That's true.
And you're pleading true to that allegation voluntarily and because it is true?
Yes, sir.
You understand that a voluntary and knowingly made plea to one or more violations of probation, that is enough to grant a motion to revoke probation?
Yes.
Your probation can be revoked. You can now be sentenced to no less than 2, no more than 10 years confinement in prison in each case. Knowing that, do you insist on pleading true today?
Yes, sir.
I find you are pleading true voluntarily. You understand and appreciate the consequences of pleading true. Let me ask this on this. Did he become an absconder?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, so as of after September 10th, then when did he get placed back in custody? And how often was he supposed to report? Twice a month or once a week? Or
It's supposed to be every month, but after intake, he just never showed up.
after when?
Intake.
Intake?
Yes.
When did he go into intake?
So after he was put on probation July 2024.
So August 14th.
August 14th. So September 10th would have been, I guess, the first. So he was placed on probation then, this says July 8th though. And then what happened? July 8th. Is that right?
Yeah, so usually when they're granted probation, they have a month to report for intake.
Oh, okay.
That's where they go over all their
Okay.
conditions and things.
But in each of these cases, both of these state he was placed on probation on July 8th, but he absconded immediately. And
Yes.
okay. And so when was he arrested? About,
So his latest arrest was March 20th of this year.
okay. Well, he was gone for about 5 months, I guess. 6 months. He was AWOL, and then he's been in jail ever since. Okay, is that about right? Okay. What happened for that?
He probably passed away. I just mentally just.
When did he pass?
That's just.
From what? What? Was he a good man?
Very. He got there, he was still alive, so they waited until he died, and I just kind of mentally went left.
Yeah, but you,
It's not a good excuse, but
well,
it's the truth of the matter.
you seem like you care very much, as a son should. But when they pass, mine passed, and I didn't go out and commit a crime and, and abscond. You live your life in their memory. They set a good example for you. You set a good example, a good role model. And that's what you do to your children. It passes on, and good times, bad times. In the good times, everything's great and we're all happy. In the bad times, that's where the family comes forward and helps each other through difficulties. And you don't need to be standing around and just sitting around in orange clothes. You're supposed to be out there working and functioning and making a life. You have children at home?
I have a child, a son that's in the Marines.
Oh, but you have people who depend upon you. Right? Okay. Okay. So what are we going to do?
Because we've come to an agreement on all three cases for 5 years in TDCJ.
So we've got these, and should I hold these in abeyance and go into this new indictment?
If you'd like, Judge.
All right. In 24 CR 2247. What are we doing on this? We've got 4 paragraphs.
Proceeding on paragraphs 1, 2, and 3 to constitute a third degree felony, and then punishing the same as the TRPs.
And we can proceed in summary and
Yeah.
waive the formal reading of this. In summary, sir, in 24 CR 2247, this is an indictment handed up on October 30th, 2024. In summary, it states that on May 31st of 2024, you committed the state jail felony of theft. It looks like unlawfully appropriating a paint sprayer of a value of $2,500 or more, but less than $30,000 from its owner. That would have been just a state jail felony, but as you probably have come to know, sentencings in criminal cases are based upon 2 primary components: the circumstances of the crime and criminal history. And paragraph 2 goes to state that you were convicted on May 9th, 2014, in cause number A110640-Rs in Robert in the 128th District Court of Orange County, Texas. Is that true or untrue?
True.
And after
It don't have to be sequence, Judge, but if you wish to proceed on paragraph 4 as well, that's fine.
and on May 25th, 2021, in cause number A is in Adam 190404-R is in Robert out of the 128th District Court of Orange County, Texas. This states you were convicted of state jail felony of theft on that date. Is that true?
Sir.
Are you pleading guilty to paragraph 1 and true to paragraphs 2 and 4 of this indictment voluntarily, knowingly, intelligently, and because those allegations are true?
Correct.
Do you understand that a voluntary and knowingly made plea of true, of guilty and true to one or more violations, criminal violations in an indictment, that is enough to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt? Yes. Oh, you acknowledge. Okay. That's okay. That's okay. Okay. Paragraphs 1, 2, and 4 of this particular indictment alleges a state jail felony, punished though as though it were a third-degree felony. Allegation 1 is the substantive offense of a state jail felony of theft, and paragraphs 2 and 4 are prior convictions of credit card abuse and theft, state jail felonies. And thus you are looking at a state jail felony, though punished as though it were a third-degree felony, which means you are facing no less than 2 nor more than 10 years confinement in prison, and a fine up to $10,000 can also be assessed. Do you understand the way all of that works?
Yes, sir.
Agreement's been reached that you would be pleading guilty and true to paragraphs 1, 2, and 4 of this indictment, sentenced to 5 years confinement in prison to run concurrently with the 2 motions to revoke probation that we've talked about so far. Is that your understanding of the plan? And these sentences will all run concurrently.
Yes, sir.
Is that your understanding?
It is.
If I follow this, you have no right of appeal of your case. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You touch the pad, it's,
We had issues with it in the back, Judge.
you know,
It's teaching us all patience.
again, I intend to follow this agreement, and if I do, you have no right of
Yes,
appeal
sir.
of this case. Do you understand, sir?
Correct.
Again, finally, how do you plead to paragraph 1, theft of property in the state jail felony in this 2247 indictment? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty voluntarily and because you are guilty?
Correct.
And paragraphs 2 and 4, the prior convictions of credit card abuse and theft, state jail felonies in 2014 and 2021. Are those all true and correct as they are alleged? And are you pleading true and correct to that voluntarily and because all of that is true?
Yes, sir.
Show you what's marked as State's Exhibit 1. Did you sign that document voluntarily? Understand it? Discuss it with your attorney?
I did.
Are the contents all true and correct?
Yes, sir.
State's Exhibit 1 tendered into evidence without objection admitted. This states you are mentally competent to enter your guilty plea and plea of truth in this indictment. You understand and appreciate the consequences of pleading guilty.
Yes, sir.
There is sufficient evidence supporting your guilty plea from State's Exhibit 1 admitted here to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt.
Yes,
You
sir.
were totally satisfied with the representation provided by your attorney. State's Exhibit 1 is made a part of the record without objection. Correct.
Correct.
right.
And
I'm
we
going to-
waive pre-sentence
I'm
report.
going to follow, and a pre-sentence report is waived.
Yes.
I'm going to follow this agreement in this case and find you are pleading guilty to paragraph 1 and true to paragraphs 2 and 3 constituting a state jail felony punished as though it were a third-degree felony. There's sufficient evidence. I find that you are mentally ill you're mentally competent. You're not mentally ill, but mentally competent to enter your plea in this case. There is sufficient evidence supporting your guilty plea and plea of true from State's Exhibit 1 to support your guilty plea to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. And I now find you guilty of this state jail felony, punished though as a third-degree felony. And I am following this agreement. You're hereby sentenced to confinement in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice to serve a term of 5 years. You will be given credit for all time you have served in accordance with this case. Do you understand what has happened here?
Yes, sir.
And the other two cases now? In 23 CR 2067 and 24 CR 792. These are the motions to revoke probation that you have entered pleas of true to out to allegation 2 in each case. Do you understand in each of these cases, these are state jail felonies where you are subject to punishment as a third-degree felony due to the prior convictions alleged in the indictments that you pleaded
Yes, sir.
true to when you pleaded guilty to the state jail felonies of forgery in 23 CR 2067 and fraudulent transfer of a motor vehicle in 24 CR 792. You are facing, even though it's a state jail felony, punished as a third-degree felony, which means you face no less than 2 nor more than 10 years confinement in prison, and a fine up to $10,000 can be assessed, even though it's a state jail felony. Do you understand how that works, sir?
Yes, sir.
And agreements have been reached in each of these cases where your probations, the motions to revoke probations would be granted, your probations would be revoked, and you would be sentenced to confinement in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice to serve a term of 5 years on each of these cases, all to run concurrently with each other,
Yes, sir.
including the third case, the indictment that you pleaded guilty to a short while ago. Is all of this true and correct?
It is.
If I follow these agreements, you have no rights of appeal of your cases. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So you, in each of these cases, was marked as State's Exhibit 1. Did you sign those documents voluntarily, understand them, discuss them with your attorney, or the contents all true and correct?
They are.
State's Exhibit 1 in each case tendered,
No objection.
without objection admitted. Essentially, we have discussed all your rights with you on these motions to revoke probation. The court is about to make its findings based upon the evidence presented, and I'm going to follow these agreements. And you understand, if I do follow these agreements, you have no rights of appeal in any of these cases.
Correct.
States Exhibit 1, part of the record in each of these cases. Pre-sentence reports are waived in each of these matters.
Yes, Judge.
I'm going to follow these agreements. In these two cases, on these motions to revoke probation in 23 CR 2067 and 24 CR 0792, I find, Mr. Barnes, you have pleaded true voluntarily, knowingly, intelligently to allegation 2 of these motions to revoke probation, failing to report to the probation office as directed. as you not only failed, but you absconded, or almost immediately, for about a year from, probation and reporting. When we can't report, when you don't report, you're really not on probation and you're subject to revocation. These findings and those violations in each case, that's enough to grant these motions to revoke probation in each of these cases by a preponderance of the evidence or greater. And I find that they should be granted, and your regular probation in each of these cases where you were sentenced to 10 years in prison, probated for 10 years, are hereby revoked. And based upon the violations of your probation and the agreements I'm going to follow, you are hereby sentenced to confinement in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice to serve a term of 10 years on each of these cases. And these are not only these
It's 5 years.
five, what did I say? 10? I'm sorry.
It's 5.
5 years. I was thinking both of them are 5. 5 years, 5, 5, 5. The 2 motions to revoke probation and the new indictment, all are 5-year imprisonments terms. They are all to run concurrently. And you will be given credit in each of these cases for the time you have served on them. And it looks like you have different time credits on each of these, but you're well advanced toward successfully completing the necessary time that you have to serve. What is your plan when you get out?
Go back to work, back to open my paint and body shop and continue with my life.
Okay. Well, good luck to you. Is there anything else to
No.
add from the defense or the state?
None from the
The
state.
probation? Then we are in recess. And
Thank
You
you.
need his
Thank you.
fingerprint.
we're going to just need his fingerprint.
Well,
Thank
yes.
you.
Okay, so, yeah, okay. Have it on the motions. I just need to on the new case. We write thumbprint. You can hear it one more time? It's something on the judgment, and that takes. Thank you.
So we're good.
Okay, anything else?